Welcome, everyone. I am about to push record on our meeting. Oh, geez.
5 captions on the page.
Okay. And we are going to have a video-free recording today. Welcome all. It is 5. I hit record.
I don't think so.
I don't think you did.
I did. Record.
Recording in progress.
Okay. Well, the lovely people at Town Meeting BT. Hi, so that is true. There is no video, just audio. The lovely people from Town Meeting BT are going to be helping us with the recording, but since I can't get the video, we're going with this. So it is 5:30, and we are going to begin by welcoming everybody, saying that our exit has changed. Go right over to where the Friends of the Library is, down the stairs. Hi, Holly Painter. Unfortunately, I can't make the video work, so we're going to see your beautiful face, and next meeting you'll get to meet all these amazing people. So I'm just welcoming the group and telling people where our exit is. And Kevin, is there any comments from the public?
So it's been a great 3 years, and it's funny, it feels like I'm moving, but just across the street.
Yes.
Trustees has been great, but I'm just moving over to the foundation side, so I'll still help fundraise for the library and do all that fun stuff, and so you can't get rid of me that easily. So it's been a
Yay.
lovely 3 years, met lots of great people, and well, hopefully the new faces have the same experience that I did, so thank you, it's been wonderful, and thank you to Stacy for being
You're so welcome.
our eminent leader the whole time I was here.
Love it. We are going to add Friends of the Library update after my very fast remarks. So I would love to approve the regular board meeting minutes of June. Oh, this is not very nice. Don't do that yet. Actually, do it. Let's approve the minutes of June 12th. I'm trying to fit in how we all do what we do.
Yeah.
Anyone provide a motion for approving our June 12th minutes? Margie,
Motion to approve the minutes for.
excellent. Do we have a second on? Beautiful. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Love it. Okay.
Abstaining.
Yes, you're right there.
Yes, you were there.
Good point.
So the next thing is welcome to everyone. And I am about in hopefully a minute and a half switching this meeting over to Ted once you all approve my just being on the regular board. I promise he'll make it just as fun as I do.
Hey.
Hi, Whitney. It's okay. So we're just going to go around the room and introduce ourselves to the new trustees. And I feel like maybe we'll put them on the spot first to say hello and a little bit about yourself. And we'll start with Ashley.
That's not how it's supposed Burlington for years. I grew up in the Middlebury area, so Vermont just took me up until 12 years ago to make my way to South Burlington. I'm a marketing and branding professional in my day job, and I have a 2-year-old daughter, Madeline, who loves the library so much. So that's why I'm really excited to be finding all the ways I can to support something that brings so much to our family. So thanks for having me here. I was really happy to be here.
Welcome, Marty, you're next.
Marty Reed, glad to be here. I've been in this town for maybe 22, 23 years, live around the corner from Stacy. I am a retired librarian. So this is familiar territory, but I've been on that side of it. Worked most of my career in public libraries in several states and ended up at the Department of Libraries here in Vermont. And I'm a gardener and a reader and a hand weaver.
Wonderful. Thank you. Brenda.
Brenda Elwood Withy, I've been in South Burlington since the day before I got married. So that was before many of you were born. I grew up mostly in Shelburne, but with some random army bases here and there. My family's been here since the late 1700s, early 1800s. So we like to say our family tree is more like a reef because southern Vermont is small and there's not a lot of families. So things are a little dicey at certain family reunions, but you get past it. I'm very happy to be here tonight. I'm very happy. I burble this over and over that for me, this building is the crown jewel of libraries in the state. I just think it's the most, it's the library dream come true for South Burlington and actually for much of Vermont. So just being here is such a thrill and being able to help, because I feel like there's a few headwinds coming this way and whatever I can bring to the party to help, I'm really happy to do it. Honored to do it, so.
Thanks, Brenda.
Poor Stacy.
So I'm just gonna say, I'm Stacy. I have been on the trustees for 9 years, so I am now stepping into a chair emeritus role. I love this library. I love doing all the things we need to do to help people read, find their joy, find a job, find tech help. So I am really happy to be part of this, and I will say that I just love spending once a month or more with every single one of you. So as much as I'm excited about stepping down, I'm going to blame it on my oldest daughter who's getting married in August. I will still be here for everything. So
That's great. Okay, good. I'm Anne Lalonde. I'm also on the foundation board, which is awesome. At one point, all trustees were on the foundation board, but we've kind of winnowed it out. I am a non-practicing lawyer. I write a treatise on trademark law. So I have the lawyer brain that just sometimes can be annoying to people. I'm sorry. And the library is amazing. Library, I'll be here. So thanks to be here.
thanks, Anne. So Kevin, you said goodbye, but do you want to say anything else about?
Guess almost 14 years now, which it doesn't seem real. I've got 2 young kids who come to the library all the time, so that was my entree to this library. I was here when it was at the high school, just to go see that, and then the mall, and now here. And I'm a professional fundraiser again, so that's why I hang out with the foundation folks. So I don't mind asking for them. So hopefully that means more money for the lab.
Thank you, Kevin. Whitney?
Been in South Burlington for 3 years, so relatively new to Vermont. My background is in public health and analytics, so I try to bring that side of my brain to this work as well. I'm on the communications committee, helping Holly and amplify events at the library. I also have 2 small, well, they're not that small anymore, 7 and 9. But our life kind of revolves around the library and reading, and the kids are just flying through their tickets for summer reading. So yeah, that's me.
Amazing, thank you. Mary, how about you?
I am both Meredith Jones, and I am the incoming president for the Friends of the Library. And I go by Mary, MBRRY. So we moved here about 6 years ago from Seattle area, and I'm retired dental hygienist. And I love working at the library. It's beautiful here. I was so thrilled when we went from the mall to here. That was wow. First it was like, oh my gosh, this is the library. So anyway, it's a great place to spend time. I like everything about it.
We're glad you're here, and in just a minute, we'll get an update from you, Rebecca.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Rebecca Stasi, and guess we've lived here now 21 years. Just sneaks right up on you, doesn't it? And my now 19 and 18-year-old sons, who used to frequent the library a lot more, I will say, it's at the high school. But I know we have books somewhere in here dedicated to them, and I have a lot of fond memories of enjoying the library with my younger children, and would like to encourage them to keep doing that. And I was with, I still am, what am I saying? With the, what we affectionately refer to as the Comm Squad, now led by Holly. And is that
You're
all?
good.
Yeah, I'm good. And I'm in my fourth year. of
Fourth
being a
year.
trustee. So.
Thanks, Rebecca. Margie.
Hi, I'm Marjorie Vaught. Welcome. So excited to have you here. So I'm in my 5th year on the board, which is crazy, but not as crazy as 26 years in South Burlington, which is, it does sneak up on you. So obviously love the library, love what we do. I love everything about this place and supporting the mission and strategic plan. And in my non-trustee life, I am work in access services at Howe Library at UVM. And governance and nomination committee. It's a fun committee, so we encourage you to look into it. It's super fun. So.
Absolutely.
I'm Ted Lunsky. I'm currently the vice chair as well as the treasurer of the library board. I've been in South Burlington for 5 years and on the board for 5 years. I just love the people I interact with, love being just helping give direction to this beautiful library. And I think as a team, we work really, really well together. And I think we all understand the value the library brings, and we want to be stewards of that going forward. So really enjoy it. I'm a retired manufacturing director for the chemical industry. Did that for 31 years. I was an engineer by trade before that. So love it up in Vermont, and glad to be engaged with the community.
Excellent. Holly, your turn.
Hello everybody. I'm sorry that I can't see you. But I'm Holly Painter, and I am I'm the chair of the communications committee. I've been on the board for 3 years, lived in Vermont for 9 years, and love the library, et cetera, et cetera. In my other life, I am an English professor at UVM. And I have 2 increasingly not so small children, aged 5 and 10.
Thank you, Holly. So to finish off my welcome, I did not say that because I am competitive, and Margie said she's been in South Burlington for 26 years. James and I bought our house and got married the same week. So we have been in South Burlington for 28 years. And I have 2 adult children. Yes, so my competition, if you're wondering how to get me to do something, just say you can do it better, and I will. So thank you for being here, Kevin. Again, I want to say thank you so much for all the work that you did. We do not yet have your book because Jennifer is on a much needed time away with her grandchildren for the month of July. She'll be back soon, but we will definitely have a wonderful book in your honor that will go into the library. So thank you. And I think my only other quick update is just that I was able to do art in the park at Samansky with the new children's librarian, Erin, a few weeks ago. Please take a moment to say hi. She was amazing. She got right in there and talked to the children, talked to the parents, was really, really engaged. So again, another wonderful person that we can advocate for here. The staff is just amazing. This month, especially with Jennifer being out, if you have an extra second to come in and say hi, that always feels good. Oh, and actually, sorry, one more thing. So I don't know if people read the news, but I was alerted there was an incident last week. And the library staff and patrons were all safe, which is amazing. I talked to Jennifer. Again, still nice to just check in with the staff and give them a happy, healthy hello, because that's pretty traumatic to have all of the police presence standing outside of the library and everything that was going on. So please, if you have a minute, just say
And
hi.
also, I talked to Jessie, the
Oh, thank
city
you.
manager, and she said that she gave the opportunity for the library to say if they wanted to close, she would have supported the decision, but the staff wanted to keep the library open. So, and it was felt comfortable with it. They felt they were empowered. They felt that it had the ability to handle that, and they wanted to keep the library open for people. So credit to the staff and credit to Jessie. She would have supported the decision. And then she told them that, but they said, no, we're good. And I think that's a great story and a great credit to the staff here that feel comfortable, they've been trained, and they handle situations. And they had the comfort level to do that. So it was good.
Did they go into lockdown during?
I don't think they did. I think they had a presence here and they were okay. I think there was some debate. I think with Jessie was one of the things that she was instant commanding and helping out was that, but they were good.
So they were in a good space. So again,
Yeah.
kudos to Jennifer as our leader and the rest of the staff taking the time to do what they need to do. And really, they want to be here for the public, and it shows in everything that they do. So I am going to, where did you put?
I put next, but I can move it.
No, keep it there. So Mary, let's do the Friends of the Library report.
In bookshop news, which is just next door, for all of you there. In May, we made $636.98.
Woohoo.
And in June, we made $487.53, and our goal is $500 a month. This next year, we'll be donating $9,570 to the library for their programs in the next fiscal year. We recently gave out books for free by authors of color to people who attended Jolivette Anderson's Juneteenth program in the auditorium. We were rained out at the park. And we were rained out when we were supposed to do our CD sale, unfortunately.
Oh.
So we are going to have a sale in the community room on July 26th for the CD books on CD that the library has been retiring. So we've had 3 members who have boxed them all up and they're ready to go. So it'll be from 10 to 2 on Saturday, July 26th, and the price is 2 for $1. The big part.
Amazing.
And then September 11th through the 13th, we will be having our annual used book sale here. And if you want to take a peek in the closet, we have a beautiful replica of fire station. It's kind of like a dollhouse. And we're gonna do that by silent auction because we want whoever gets it to really appreciate it. It's a lot of work went into it, and we're hoping to get firemen to come in and
That's awesome.
pose with it.
Oh, amazing.
Do a little extra PR. Our Story Walk logo is finished, and here it is.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Everything from t-shirts to signs there.
Rebecca, can
We're
you take a
waiting
picture
more
of it?
specific information for when the Story Walk will be finished. We hope it'll be in the fall. And one of our goals for our organization is to get more of our members active and to get more new members coming in. We need hale and hearty volunteers. We currently have 3 of our core members who are on chemotherapy. One's had some serious health problems in the last few months, and one has fractured vertebrae. So we're limping along here. So that'll be a goal of ours, is to get some extra help. I did contact the voice well, Boys and Girl Scout troops from St. John Vianney, and they're gonna help us load the books in, so that's good.
Wonderful. And Mary hasn't said it yet, but it's strongly encouraged that all of the trustees become friends of the library. It's an amazing group. And Mary, if you have things coming up that we need to be helpful with, please send an email and we'll push it out. I think we all try to get in there when we can, but sometimes it's hard to remember all of the different things that are happening.
Thursday night of the sale, the first night is for people who are friends,
Brilliant.
but you can join that night. Right.
And you can join online, it's super easy.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, and you can also buy one of these amazing bags because, thank you.
Daughter keeps stealing it.
I had to give one to my daughter because she took it. Thank you so much. So now we are going to come to the exciting part of the agenda where we are going to vote on our trustee board leadership. So currently our slate is Ted Blinsky as chair, Donna as secretary. I'm doing this backwards because that's what I do. And Lalonde as vice chair. Why do I do that? And then Brenda with the new trustee as treasurer. So a very exciting slate. It's a great job. And I'm hoping that someone will motion to accept this slate and then we can vote on it. All right. We have us. I'm doing this backwards. Margie's seconding. I can tell by her face. All right. All those in favor of our trustee slate and new trustees, you could actually vote if you would like to, because it's official. You're here. It's your first. So raise hands to say, yes, you approve.
Can we say yes to? Yeah.
Yes, you can say. Amazing. I see no no's, no talk. So yay, we have a new slate of leadership. Thank you all for stepping up. And Ted, now you can take over.
Just one, thank you, Stacy, for your leadership over the last years and your continuing support of being on the board and the 9 years you've given. So thank you very much. It's a big shoes to fill, but I'll try to do it.
You got it.
So next step is committee reports. We have, I'll say for finance, there is no report for finance. Holly, did you have anything for comms?
We didn't meet last month, so no.
Okay.
Oh,
All
we
right.
Whitney wrote an article that went in the other paper over the last month.
Thank you, Whitney. Good. And governance and nominating.
I'm gonna send it back to Stacy and Ann because I wasn't at that meeting.
Oh, that's right, you weren't. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
sorry.
I got
I
it.
missed that one.
No, that's totally fine. You just, so governance and nominating is there's a lot of emphasis on the governance part, and we look at the
Less
policies
nominating.
and less nominating
Yeah.
somehow, yes. But we look at the library policies, and they're on the library website under About Us. It has the library mission and policies. And I believe they're.
Which you can't see,
No, you can't, oh,
but
thank you.
they're right here.
And so I know, you're the chair, you should probably be
Yeah,
this part of it, but.
Sorry. Yeah, so we update, right, policies and update as needed, and Jennifer will bring concerns that the staff members have that we can address in policies. And so we work it out, we do all the kind of the niddly items, and then once we get a policy that we think is gonna be really workable, then we bring it to the full board to full vote. And then the board votes on it. So the work that we do in committee has to be voted on by the board.
Yeah, all we do is recommend.
We just recommend normally.
Yes.
And having said that, normally, you know, it goes pretty smoothly, but the board always, you know, when people look at it, they're very good
Yeah.
about finding things that we didn't address.
Great
or-
questions, yeah.
Yeah, words that we missed that aren't appropriate anymore, so,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's actually a really process.
Yes.
So, and.
And if you look through the policies and you think, oh, it doesn't make sense,
This
let us
makes-
know.
let us know.
Yes.
And we'll look at it,
We'll
we're like,
look-
oh my God.
Yes, you're
And then we'll
right,
bring it
they're
back to the
right.
board and say, oh my God.
Guys.
So, it's a great community. And so I strongly encourage you. If you're interested. Yeah. So,
And
no, sorry.
so I apologize. This was supposed to be attached to the agenda that did not make it onto the website. The whole patron code of conduct, the piece that's being changed is actually on the agenda.
Right. So Jennifer came to us
Right.
and said to the committee and said, we're having problems with people wanting to store their purses and things at the front desk. And the staff is very uncomfortable about this. So often with the policies, what one of the goals is for the staff to be able to point to a policy and say, here's what the policy says. Like, it's not just coming from me, the staff member, this is an official policy. And so we added in the patron code of conduct, under the be safe paragraph, keep your belongings with you or place them in a designated location. The library is not responsible for lost or stolen property. And Jennifer had mentioned to us that she was going to create a designated location,
wondering
which
what
sounds
that-
weird.
that
I
was.
know,
That's
yes,
what
me
I was
too.
worried.
But no, she had suggested that she was going to create a place.
Upstairs near the,
Hang out.
no, by the stairs where those tables are around here, she was gonna try to put something there that was near the question desk.
Yep.
But it has not, I don't think it's been created yet.
Okay.
Are we talking about something that locks or just a bin or?
Basically something that's just going to be
Yeah,
a
drop off.
place. Because I think our concern was even if it locked, it would be a locker situation, which is hard to manage. So it's feel free if you need to leave your things here, but we can't be responsible for them. And who knows where that might change in the future as the library changes. Maybe we'll be able to work with the city and have lockers outside the library or something to make it a little easier for people. But right now, there's not a good designated area.
Is this a new
Issue?
issue?
No,
Okay,
it's just becoming more prevalent.
okay.
And it happens more often when it's really, really hot or really, really cold because people stay for a long period of time in the library. So if they need to step out or use the restroom and they have a backpack and a whatever else it is, they are asking if they can leave it at the circulation desk, which staff really can't keep an eye on all of those things.
It's probably become more prevalent as more people have been using the library for the full
Right.
opening time.
Yes.
All right. Oh, you have a
Ollie,
question?
sorry.
Yeah, I was wondering, is the existence of a designated area going to give people the impression that their stuff is safe?
Because it says we're not responsible.
I'm wondering
No.
if that would be interpreted to be like keep your belongings with you or place them in a designated location. And then if you fail to do this, the library is not responsible. You know what I'm saying? It seems when I read it like there might be an implicit suggestion that if you put it in the designated place, then like you're all good.
That's a good point.
See what I agree with what you're saying, Holly. I think maybe if Jennifer puts a sign up, you know, at your own risk, items are library is not responsible for lost items at this designated area.
I think signage at the designated
Yeah,
area. would be
I
really
think
nice,
so.
'cause I think it'd be good to communicate it's not being monitored,
Right.
right? It's not
Right.
being watched closely. It is just a place to put stuff at your own risk.
I guess I'm a little worried that it might seem like an advertisement for, here are some items that you're paying attention to.
iPhones.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wallets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a good idea to have a designated area if it's not going to be monitored.
What was the reason for the designated area? Because it does seem like it's a drawing attention to a collection
Right, that's
point.
true.
Place, because then we've got to keep common walkways clear, so is that part of the problem of people?
Yes, yes, she mentioned that,
Right,
yes,
but-
or just on the, yes, just stuff out. Something like
Are there any other, saying this, but other models out there,
Right,
other
that's a
libraries,
good
how are they,
question.
you know? I
Right.
kind of feel like the big statement is the library is not responsible for loss, or,
So,
you know, it's kind of like when you go to,
right,
don't leave your luggage
Yeah.
on.
Start with walkways clear, we have this place for you to leave your stuff, but also. Cause I don't know. Why people be motivated, I mean, yeah, I just worry that if we make it seem like they shouldn't keep their stuff there because it's not safe, then they're gonna keep carrying it around with them, and if the real problem is that. People
Right.
will trip over it, or they're taking up seats in the library because they have stuff on the seats, then. That's not solving the problem.
Is the problem we're trying to solve is that the circulation desk is getting.
yes.
So that's the issue. It's not necessarily it's a trip hazard.
I
or
mean, she
anything.
mentioned the
It's-
trip hazard, but.
She did, but
it-
that's a
she-
little
that
easier to
wasn't what she-
navigate.
yeah.
That to me, you.
Right.
You can make suggestions to clean
Right.
that up. So it's
Yeah.
really to stop the circulation desk for having
Yeah,
to take
and
this
do it stuff.
responsibility. So
Yeah.
the answer really is. You keep it in your possessions.
Yeah.
Or the
When-
risk is yours.
Right,
So when the circulation staff member says, no, I'm sorry, we can't, then what is the general response by the patron?
good question, I don't know, that's a good question.
Yeah, I don't. So I think the question is, what do we want the response of the circulation to say?
Right.
Yeah, we do not take this and it's
Right.
at your own risk,
Right.
and that's the answer, or go to the designated spot, but going to the designated spot to Holly is. That could become opening up for other issues.
Storage unit.
Right, I mean, I think,
So maybe for the discussion, we ought to give this feedback to Jennifer.
Yeah,
To kind of think that through back with her and bounce it off
Right.
before we approve this.
table the vote for
Is this where we're-
yeah,
absolutely. And it might be, I'm just suggesting, it might be a good thing to talk to Jesse about as well, is there a way, because while the library is not a designated heating or cooling area, we are definitely seeing an uptick of people with a lot of belongings, and how can we?
And if that's the secondary issue, then it's the
Right.
circulation desk being, if that's the secondary issue, then we as a board can take that to Jessie.
Yeah, that's
As a
great.
concern of ours and
Mhm.
have discussions with her. So I can take that
great,
if that's the feedback we get. Okay,
great.
so we will not do the motion, not do the action. We'll table it back to committee. Okay.
Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
For the rest of the new board members, we have 3 active committees. On there, there's the finance committee, the governance and nominating committee, and the comms committee. We asked that each board member participate in at least one of those committees. So there are descriptions on there. Now Brenda is in charge as the treasurer. She's in charge of the finance committee. You can ask me questions about the finance committee as well. Marjorie for the comms and nominating, and Holly. So if you, over the next month, for our next meeting, we will want to fill out the committee calendar and committee membership. So take your time over the next month to figure out what committee you would like to participate in and be an active member on that. We want to make sure it's pretty evenly. We want in general 3 to 4 people per committee.
And
So if you could look at those, read from there. Actually, yes.
So I know that my skills are best suited for comms committee, but I'm also coming from a decade on Special Olympics Vermont board, so I have experience with other areas that are not necessarily those skills. And from that board, I know the balance of, I mean, Marjorie really trying to sell the governance. There are spaces that, comms committees are super sexy everywhere. Everyone wants to be part of those. committees, and the
They
Talk
are
Squad
pretty
sounds
cool.
really cool, and I would love to join that, but also is there a bigger need? Membership?
I think right now, I think there's support on each one of the committees that they are strong and they have
Yeah.
membership. I think it's, again, when we look at it all together, when you can come in and say, I'd like to do comms, but I'm willing to do the others, when we balance out the committees, we can look at it. So Joy, come with your first preference. And
You
we'll
can
look
make
and see if it
mine.
all comes together and then see if some people will be willing to say, hey, there's enough on comms. I'll do governance or do finance.
Great, and thanks, Holly, I see your note.
Okay,
Oh, yes.
so Connor, it's governance and nominating
No
meeting.
meeting this month.
Okay, and
So
finance.
it's by one shot.
Right. And finance is not meeting this month either, so, but there are descriptions out there and you can reach out to me or Marjorie if you have questions.
Thank you.
Okay, any other committee items? Okay, I think we're good. Obviously, the next part of this agenda is the listening session for the library director position. We have.
We had
two
one
members.
person and they're gone now.
Right, so these popped in and then popped out. So we have two members of the public, Mary and Kevin. If you have any comments you would like about about the library director, what you would like to see with the library as the process goes forward. Before I should explain a little bit the process of where we're at. So right now, the job position has been posted on multiple websites. And we've had 19 people submit interest.
Great.
In the library. Of those 19, maybe a little over half don't meet the minimum qualifications as we specified. The library director job posting is on the city's webpage if you're interested in seeing that. So our target will be to whittle down that number from 19 or more to about 7 candidates that make the first pass, and that is done through the HR group of the city. At that point, there will be a first wave of interviews for those candidates. The city and I met, and there are 2 positions for the library board of trustees, people to participate on the first wave of interviewing. And then there'll be 2 positions. After that first wave, they will recommend 3 candidates to go to the final stage. There'll be an interview on that, and that'll be 2 positions we've determined the city manager and the chair of the board will be 2 of those positions. So there'll be an additional position open for a library board member and then 2 on the first committee. Plan is to interview the first wave of 7 candidates, first 10 days of August. And then late August, early September, the second wave to get a candidate, hopefully early September. By that transition offer negotiations that the city has to go through, that pushes it to late September. Our goal was to get 2 weeks of overlap with Jennifer. Not sure that's going to happen given the holidays and everything.
She leaves the 3rd.
3rd, she leaves. Yes. So we'll have a discussion with Jennifer to see, obviously, if she's willing to move the date a week or whatever, keep engaging to make sure we make that transition. But the process is moving. The posting comes down on the 16th. City will also have other representatives on the committee, like Parks and Recreation leadership. They may also put their IT leadership on the team. And the new liaison for the police, the new sergeant that is doing the community leadership role. They will probably have a role in the committee. And we're also possibly reaching out to a couple people in the community to be a part of that as well, who've been formally on the library board of trustees and other engagements in the community to make up the panel. We don't want the panel to be like an 8-on-1 discussion. We don't want a whole room of this sitting in front of one person to make that a little too intense. So we're probably going to keep it around 5 people per panel. Yes.
I'm sorry if I misunderstood. So the first wave, the 2 board members in addition to you?
No, 2 board members and the other city representatives. On
And
the
then
second
the
one will be
second
me plus 1 more. Right. So that's the process. So I'll turn it over first to this people in the community. Any questions you would have for that process or interest you want to make sure as part of that?
That's you all.
Okay.
It seems like a daunting.
And Mary, we will be, I haven't asked for help yet, creating a survey that we Ted would love your help in getting that to the friends, because some people might like to write some things. So we will do that
Didn't know when's your next
the 17th.
Next Thursday.
meeting? I may try to participate.
Oh, wonderful.
Use that as the form to do that instead of doing the survey.
Oh, beautiful.
So if you could maybe add me to
Oh,
that agenda.
we'll add it.
I got the email for the agenda. I will come there, get a discussion with the friends,
Okay.
because we had the same with the foundation. Okay. Since there's no other community, I'll turn it now over to the board for questions about the process.
No, I just want to briefly explain that it's ultimately up to the city to decide who to hire, and they're doing this in consultation with us. We have this memorandum of understanding with the city that has been worked out, and that's one of the many things that
Yes.
is in there.
We are in lockstep, so as a governing board. Oh, Ted,
That's fine.
you do it.
No,
Sorry.
Fine.
So the trustees are in charge of hiring and letting go and doing an annual review of the librarian. It is really nice to have this collaboration with the city because they are taking care of all of the HR pieces. So the rubrics and making sure everything gets out to where it needs to go. And they do all of the fun HR things, insurance, all of those pieces. But the MOU that we did work on is so that we are in lockstep, not, we are consulting, but a little bit higher than that. I love the word, but a little bit more than consulting.
And also as part of the process, it's going to be, try to be a positive process. It's not saying this person's better than this person. The idea is to highlight the strengths and weaknesses of a person, to put it all out there, and then have that discussion, that final discussion, with that final committee to hire. Okay, Marjorie?
Sorry, I have loads of questions. So, I'm sure like for those of us who've done this process before, it looks very different depending on the job. So I'm just kind of curious, like, what is the process? So is it a Zoom interview for the initial one? And the second one, is there a presentation? Will there be, and members of the public will be invited?
So right now that it is, the goal would be on the first wave is to probably do as many as possible in person, but
Okay.
probably virtually will we'll just facilitate to make sure we do that. It'll probably be virtual. The next wave would be, our goal would be to do it in person. It will be interview. There is no presentation that we are asking at this time. We've asked the candidates to bring. There will be consistency between each one of the interviews. So there will be a rubric. There will be common questions we'll have. But Jesse and I also talked about having to make it feel comfortable with a panel is to make it a discussion as well. That let the conversation play a little, make sure we hit the key marks, but also if the candidate would like to talk about something, have that kind of discussion. So there'll be a component that is fixed and consistent, and a component that'll be more of an open discussion to kind of get a sense of their personality, their vision, their ideas about that.
And the questions, the initial questions, I assume that they'll all be the same. Who are those standard questions from the city, or does the board have any hand in?
So right now, the city is developing that list of questions through their HR process that they're doing. So that is one of the ones we're probably deferring to them to build
Okay.
that structure. We will have input into that process. Right now, it's most likely going to come through me, but then the people who are a part of the interview can do that. And then I would most likely I have no reason not to share it with the rest of the board to get input. That would probably then be us communicating it to the city as well, saying these are the interests of the board. Absolutely.
I'm sorry, Holly, I'm gonna ask one more, then I swear I'll shut up. So once the interview process is done, for the people who are on the board, will they write out a summary of the interview, thoughts about, how?
I thought so.
Okay.
But that's a good point. There will be notes and there will be a summary of the discussion that may be having, whether each person submits a summary. We haven't gotten to that point.
Thank you, sorry.
I'm after Helen.
Go ahead, Holly.
Holly, go ahead.
Okay, I think, is Donna not there? Is that right?
That's correct.
I know that Donna had raised, the last time we spoke about this, that she was really concerned that having some be in person and some be Zoom interviews would disadvantage anybody who was on Zoom. And so she was suggesting that we have them all on Zoom for the first round to make that consistent. Is that something the city would consider?
I think they would. I think it's, the first round. For time and given it's probably only gonna be a 30-minute component, I think they're all going to be virtual. Now,
Oh,
it
they're all
depends, it's,
virtual.
yeah, so I think that would be the case. It depends also, I think right now several candidates that are local in
Mhm.
Vermont. So I agree with that. That's a point I can make sure we raise, but I believe the first wave, the intention is for the process to be virtual in the first wave.
Okay, thank you.
And the reason you bring is is actually something valid to consider as well.
Definitely.
I hear Stacy really well. I don't hear everybody else as well, so I might have missed that. Thank you.
Yeah, but points taken, and I think everything will, I'll make sure I bring that up when we have the discussion. Okay, okay.
Just a quick question, is or how might she be involved? How is Jennifer involved in this process in any way?
Jennifer right now is not.
Is that I don't know if there are rules about that. I just wondered, in terms of the input of the interview questions, I feel like she would be have
She has
extreme insight into that.
For the interviews themselves, no. For the interview questions, I believe
Yes,
she
the
would be
questions.
involved in that.
Okay. And so, because this is a public position, are the interviews going to be recorded? And I'm thinking of some of the interviews I've been to at UVM where, you get to see sort of a recording. I don't know what the process
I
is.
don't think there's a process for that. That
Yeah.
is not discussed.
Just for people who really do have an interest, they want to sort of see who this person is.
Jesse and HR did not mention that to me, so I don't think that's how the
And that could
process
be
will
for
work.
finalists,
Yeah,
not in
for
the beginning.
finalists, that makes sense. And do you know what the promotion of this opportunity looked like? Was it local and library?
It was national.
It is a national
So
search?
they did
Okay,
LinkedIn.
that's great.
They did, library.
Library.
So they had out there, they had other sites. So we are getting candidates from outside of.
Okay,
So
that's good.
Yeah, we discussed that it was really important to have a national search
Great.
because this library has so many diverse needs that we need to really think about.
Feels cozy, but it's very complex.
It is.
the spread of where we've looked at has been broad.
Right.
And they actually delayed it, opened it for a couple more days because they wanted to go to, I think, LinkedIn and some other places to make that path look as open as possible to try and do that. Any other questions?
Has there been any discussion or is there a checklist or a weighted on the qualifications or characteristics that we're looking for?
We had a discussion amongst us about those, which one we tended to think more highly of when we started trying to think of that, but I think right now we haven't weighted them in any specific way. I think we're looking for a candidate that hopefully hits all those and get a feel for that. I think that's gonna be one of the dynamics when we get into the qualifications for the person, and we'll look at those and see if there's some that we as a board, and that's part of the listening session, to know that feedback as we try to balance it to see where it's at.
And Maddie, the HR person, does have a rubric, which is how she's determining some of the where people land.
Yeah.
With their cover letters and their resumes. So there is that rubric, but I don't
So the
think.
first culling of the process we're doing is the HR person is taking it down from 19 at least down to cut it in half based off the basic qualification. And they've used their HR processes that they've done as a city to try and make that initial.
And I have seen rubrics related to the actual questions used in interviews. That I don't know if they do that here, but that's another possibility.
I think they might. And one of the things that I know we talked about in our meeting is with the rubric that she was looking at around experience, yes, education. And then there's other pieces, depth of knowledge, has somebody worked with a board, so there's some of those questions they will definitely be able to ask
Yeah.
as.
I mean, we went through the job description. If there were things that we thought were super important, we just moved them up
Yeah.
to the top. I mean, it's not really a formal like priority list, but we did move things up to the top if we wanted them to be top of mind.
So we did try to imply some of that ranking or some of that importance based off the order we put it in there.
Do we anticipate any internal applicants? And if so, is there a courtesy process for them or?
I have not seen the final list to know if there is any internals. They did not mention any yesterday. But they did talk to this, the one thing that Jesse and the HR, they did have a listening session with the staff, like we're having
Good.
here, so they've had that, very positive, engaged staff about that. They were very complimentary of Jennifer, but they also gave some perspective, so the city felt very good about the listening session they had with the staff. Just like we had ours with the foundation, and Mary will have yours with the friends on that, so I think getting all that component will help as well.
Does the city provide any funding for transportation if somebody's from out of state and they come to an interview?
I don't know that
don't know
information. I
that
think I would think they tried to make sure that the person is
Yeah,
capable of doing that, but I don't know any of those, that whatever their policies are, they'll follow their standard policies.
It's a good
Okay,
question.
good question. All right,
Oh, Holly, so.
another one.
Sorry. I'm not there, but it seems like this was not a particularly successful public listening session in terms of the number of public. And I didn't see this advertised anywhere. It wasn't on the library events. Would it
So,
be
go
good to
ahead.
hold another one that's better advertised? Maybe not with all of us, but just with some small segment of the group.
So that was gonna be my final comment once we conclude the full listening session, was whether we
Sorry,
need.
we're still in the listening session. I forgot.
Right, so I'll table your thought, but that is the final one of the day. So any other comments on our current listening session that we're having? So last comment I have, if you're interested in being a part of that process, please let me know. Again, first 10 days of August, last 10 days or the last 5 to 10 days of August, early September would be the 2 windows we'd ask for be available. HR will try to coordinate the interviews. I don't think it's gonna be a block from 10 to 5 that all these candidates are gonna fit in there. It's gonna be hit and miss on that. So please let me know if you want to be a part of that process, and then we can discuss that. And give it to the city, because the city is flexible as to who those slots go to. Okay?
I just want to say the city is flexible. Ted and I are encouraging that it will be the same group of people for all of the interviews, for the
Oh,
2
yeah.
sets of interviews. I just wanted to make sure that was clear that.
So the 2 people doing the first wave should meet all those candidates, and the other person is with me would be sealed.
So are you not gonna, will you be at the first round?
I will not. I think again, Jesse and I talked about it felt that we should be the ones at the end
Okay.
on the final candidates, and also get as many people into the process
I
without
see.
going over that level of, there's 50 people in the room. I don't want to sit.
To me.
Exactly. Okay. Any other questions on this listening session?
one other question, staff, any input? Would they be able to meet those final candidates or?
I do not know that. I can throw that out as a question, is when the final candidates come in, whether there'll be any interaction, tour the library or whatever to see the people, or whatever. I think there might be, but I wouldn't want to commit to that yet.
We should be seeing the finalists.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting.
It is. It's a great opportunity for us.
How many library directors have there been? In
Well,
the
Jennifer was here
history?
11. I don't know how many before
Oh,
that.
Louise was here for.
Louise was here, Claire was the
Claire.
first one, and then it got too much because she was high school librarian and the community librarian, so
She was the first ever.
She was the
South Burlington?
first ever.
Oh, I'm thinking there are hundreds, I don't know.
So it's only 3 then?
I think there's.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's guys. but you're right.
Did Claire, but I
Okay.
could be wrong.
Oh, well, that's exciting.
Okay. Now, Holly, to your point, we talked to the city about pushing this out more publicly, and they kind of looked at me and said, yeah, we didn't do that. No, I think it was missed in the shuffle of everything going. So the question is, do we feel we ought to have a special session that and Jesse has agreed that if we did, they would probably put a little more effort to get it out in the paper or other things. So is there an interest in doing that in the later month of July or early August? What's the board think?
I would like to do that.
I agree.
Okay. General feedback on the chief. They did listening sessions with the chief. It was limited feedback for the chief. Jesse's comment was everything she's heard about the library has always been very positive and very good. Even from the staff was that, the library board's that, the foundation's been that. I imagine the friends maybe like that as well. It's completely obviously our call, but she feels very confident she has the pulse of what's going on at the library. Anytime you want to be at the public, you want to try and do that, but it's really, if we think it's a value added, do we think we're going to learn anything more and take the time to do that? Or is it just a commitment to the community that we ought to be?
I mean, even
Maybe a
if
little-
nobody turns up, I think we should still do it because this wasn't advertised, so.
Yeah, I think it's a commitment to the community that says we want to hear what your thoughts are, and maybe we might be able to do it all online versus
Oh, yeah.
having to do it in person because it's not a board meeting.
Right.
So we might be able to do it all virtual.
I don't know. I think that would be harder, maybe.
You think
We
so?
get fewer people, but maybe
Well,
not. I don't know.
Does it make it more accessible or not?
So maybe
I
go both.
Yeah, we could do both. Like, be my.
I don't mind sitting in a room by myself.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, it won't be that.
I think we could probably do it both as well, someplace. So I guess I'd ask people to open up their calendars when they are available.
I'm also not traveling anytime soon, so.
So I'll throw out a date of July 31st. The Thursday. Is there a city
We'll just
night
do
out?
every
There's not a.
July.
31st is a night out.
First.
Okay, so we don't want to do it on a night out. Is there anything else on the city calendar that week? We won't do it on Mondays because I guess it could be council meeting, but I don't know, that's 28th is a council meeting. And I'm out the week of the 21st, so, but you could do it without me.
I feel like we might need to explain to people what the library director does if we have a meeting like this. We don't want to just
So we probably need
kick
to
it
figure
off
out-
by,
We may ask the comm squad to put a little communication
I don't
together
know.
as to what the announcement should say. Is that something, Holly, you think we could?
Sure,
put a
we can
small-
add that to the agenda for next week. And then where can we send it where the city will, like, we could put it in city news. I think the kind of people who are likely to show up are people who read either city news or the other paper.
Yeah, so I think I can get with the city, figure out where they get it. I think it would possibly be on their calendar. We would have to warn it as well. And we can see how we can get it in the other paper as well.
Front porch
Front
forum,
porch forum.
Front porch forum would do it. So, yeah.
The other.
can't find the city calendar, city website.
It looks like that week, the 14th, 15th and 17th have events.
It's like next week,
And
though,
then-
isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think we'll be able to warn it. And so it's the week of the 21st. You guys can go ahead and do the listening session without me, or the week of the 28th, because I don't want to do it in early August because we'll start it.
So overlapping.
There's a city council meeting on that Monday.
It's
Which
Tuesday,
one? The
Wednesday,
20th?
it's either Tuesday or Wednesday.
Cancel. Energy committees on the 23rd, I don't know, but you've done the rest of it.
So do you want to do it the week of the 21st or the 28th? No, down weeks first.
I will actually be out the week of the 21st, same time as you, Ted.
Okay.
But I could remote in on that Thursday.
Afternoon, evening, is it?
Probably right around this time again,
Yeah,
5:30.
I'm good.
I don't see anything on the calendar for the 28th. Am I looking wrong, Ashley? Do you see anything on the city?
No, I don't see, the week of the 21st, there are a few, but the week of the 28th, I don't see.
There's no SB and now.
There is on the
Right,
31st.
so-
Yeah, there is.
Could you do-
We would do it earlier than.
We could do a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, we could do it, so it's week of the 28th. Not
Maybe
Mondays,
not.
so Tuesday or Wednesday, the
29th or 30th?
Flip a coin.
We're gonna, now that
29.
I won't be here. So.
I don't think there either.
Or the
I
Thursday.
will be.
29th.
Yeah.
Sold.
So
So,
29th at 5:30, we will have, I'll warn that meeting. Holly, I'll give you time next week to give me some write-up for what it would look like. And I'll work to get it on front porch forum, other paper, the city calendar, the library events. We put it on there as well. That newsletter that weekly thing goes out.
and we can ask if, would this be appropriate to send out with the library email listserv? So we should be able to do that as well.
We can also make a flyer to put in the library.
Oh, good point.
Okay. 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 Central plan. Any other questions? All right, any other business? If not, the meeting is adjourned at 6:31. Thank you.
Thanks, Holly. Bye, Holly. Waving at you.
See ya.